guys, welcome back. So as you can see by my title down below, I'm going to be showing you my Fleektastic brow routine. And I have filmed this video 3 times. This is my 3rd time filming this video. The first time I was out of focus the entire time, and every time I went to go fill in my brow, I would like go out of the frame. And then the second time I just did not like the way my brows turned out. It was just not a Fleektastic day. And I was like, I need to get this video. This video is supposed to go up Thursday, and now it's going up Sunday. Well, it should be going up Sunday, but I mean, whatever. I'm happy with the way my brows turned out today, thankfully. Thankfully, because, whew. Throughout the video, I give you a few like tips and tricks on the way that I do my brows specifically. I really quickly just want to say that you don't have to fill in your brows like this. Everyone's face shape is different and everyone's brow hair growth is very different. I know a lot of people that don't have any brow hairs in their tail and they have to create their tail. You just have to do with whatever works best for you. This video is just showing you how I specifically do my brows, and I've been filling in my brows for quite some time, and I feel like I just now finally have gotten better at it, and my brows actually look natural and not so dark and like filled in. I personally don't really like it when brows are like super sculpted and super dark and harsh, but that's just my personal opinion, and I don't like the way that it looks on me, and I finally found a way to make my brows look as natural as possible, and I am comfortable with them. So without further ado, without me rambling, I hope you guys enjoy this video and I hope you learned something new. And yeah, let's just get started. Okay, so now that I have you guys all up close and personal, the very first thing that I like to go in with is my spoolie that is on the other side of my brow wiz. So I'll just take the spoolie and I want to comb through all of my brow hairs just to kind of set it up for the designated shape that I want in the end. This helps me pay more attention to like sparser areas, or if I need to trim any brow hairs or tweeze any brow hairs or anything like that. So I'm just going to do that on both brows. So once I kind of have them set in place like this, I'm going to go in with the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Fix, I think this is called. And this is just a wax, and it's not really necessary, but for me personally, I feel like this helps my brow hairs throughout the day kind of just stay in place, and it prevents them from going a little wacko. I'm going to go back in with that brow wiz, and then I'm going to just start pushing up all of my brow hairs, so I can see the base of my brow and just know where I want my lines to go. The very first color that I go in with the brow wiz, I use 2 different ones. I use chocolate and dark brown. And for chocolate, I use it in the inner portion of my brow just because the hairs are a little bit more sparse and I like it to go from light to dark. So the way I fill in my brows is that I take my brow wiz and I take it from the base of my nose to my brow, and that is roughly where my brow should start. And then if you turn it about halfway, the brow wiz should run like through your eye, and that is where your arch should be. And from the corner of your nose to the base of your eye is where your tail end should be. You can fill in your brows however you would like. It's kind of like the unofficial rule of how to fill in your brows. So I'm going to go ahead and take chocolate, and I'm just going to put a line from the very tip of my brow to the arch. Just like that. And then I'm going to go in and just start filling in the inner portion. I'm going to stay away from the very outer portion because I like to do that last, but I'm just going to very lightly and gently start filling all of this in. And once I get into the inner portion, I like to turn my brow wiz sideways and then just kind of start flicking up the brow wiz and going along with the natural growth of the hair. And I feel like that's really important. If you really like natural looking brows, I feel like staying with the natural growth of the hair helps with that. Okay, so once I have this roughly filled in, I'm going to take this spoolie side and just kind of give it a wiggle. And I think of my spoolie as a blending brush for my brows, just because if I put a little bit too much product, I can just move my spoolie around and I feel like it softens the product. So now I'm going to go on the top of my brow with chocolate again and start from that really soft line that I created from the bottom to the top, and then just very lightly with small strokes create a line to about my arch is where I tend to go. And then same thing, just kind of filling in this area very softly and gentle. So now that I have the inner portion of my brow complete, I like to again push up all of the brow hairs. And then I like to go in with the Brow Wiz in dark brown. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to overlap from right before my arch starts, I want to say is normally where I go. So I'm just going to again start creating a line, and same thing, very light, small stroke. So now that I have the line down, I'm going to push all my brow hairs back into place, then just start filling in this area. I like to go in with light feathery strokes just to make it look a little bit more natural and a little bit more like actual brow hairs. So I overlap the chocolate once again, and I only have that natural arch, so I have to create the arch. And then connect the top with the bottom just like so. So again, take the spoolie side and brush through everything. Take the spoolie through my brows one more time. I like to go back in and make sure that I didn't miss any sparse areas. So like right here, right below my arch, I missed a little spot, so I'm going to fill that in. And then back in with the spoolie to brush everything out. Spoolie from the top of the brow and just kind of brush through right here and then brush up. And then set my brows back into their natural laying shape. So as you can see, this is one brow done and this is the other brow that is not done. So I have fairly thick brows. I don't really have many sparse areas, but I just like to fill them in to give me that shape and really frame my eye and my face, because I just feel like it pulls everything together. Now that I have this brow filled in, I'm going to go ahead and fill in this one. And this one is actually my problem brow. This one has always just been so much easier to fill in and just shape like perfectly. And then this one I have to like sit there forever. So this one takes me a little bit longer. But a rule of thumb is that your brows are sisters and not twins, or cousins and not sisters, but I like the sisters and not twins because cousins don't always look alike, but your brow should look somewhat similar. So same thing, I'm going to create that line going from the outer portion of my brow to about halfway into my arch, and then just lightly fill it in. And before, for the longest time, when I would do my makeup, I would do my primer, my foundation, and then my brows first. Since I'm oily, like I've mentioned 101 times before, that throughout the day, I would notice that the outer portion of my brow would start to fade or kind of slide around. So now I like to do my brows after I'm almost completely done with my makeup, because I feel like even though the foundation's still underneath, I set my face with powder, so it stays, the brow pencil stays a lot longer than it did before. But I still bring my Brow Wiz with me everywhere just in case, because nobody wants half a brow. As you can see, like once I get to the tail of this brow, I feel like my brow hairs just decide to go all like crazy, and then I automatically just like forget how to fill it in. So I have to be a little bit more patient with this one, which is like super frustrating to me. But it just, for some reason, this brow has always just taken me a lot longer, and it just doesn't cooperate. And the hairs grow a little bit differently on this brow than they do on this one. This one just like kind of grows into shape, and this one I have to like fill in a lot more areas and create more of an arch on this guy. And then if you tend to like overdraw or have any mess ups, you can just go in with a little bit of concealer and a small brush. I like to use an angled brush. This is actually the Anastasia number 12 brow brush, but I like to use it just in case I mess up. So I just go in with a little bit of concealer. Just use whatever concealer is left over from when I was applying my makeup, and I just kind of clean it up. The one problem that I have with doing my brows after my foundation and my powder is done is that I feel like it's a little bit harder to clean up, but it does stay a lot longer, so you can't win everything. And I'm not the biggest fan of super sculpted out brows. Like, I won't take concealer and completely clean them up. I like them to look a little bit more natural, but you do whatever you prefer. This is just how I feel in my brows, and this is just the way that I like them to look. Now that this brow is completely done, I'm going to go in with the spoolie side again and brush everything out. Just to make sure, again, that there are no sparse areas or there's too much product in one spot. I feel like one of the most important things when filling in your brows is to just stay with the natural curve and angles of your brow. Unless you have like absolutely no hair down here and you need to draw on a tail, it's a little bit different. But when I first started doing my brows up until like a couple of months ago, I felt like I didn't really have it down. And the more I practice, the more I feel like my brows are looking pretty Fleektastic. So that's why we're doing this video today. And the final step that you want to do to keep your brows in place and to prevent them from moving is go in with a brow gel. This is the Anastasia Beverly Hills one in clear. So like using the tinted ones, I was using caramel for a while when I had ombre and highlights, and I really liked the way it lightened up my brows but also matched my hair. I felt like everything flowed a little bit better together. But now that my ombre has faded, I'm using clear again. So when I set my brows with the clear brow gel, I like to take all the hairs in the inner corner and flick them up, just as I did when I was filling them in, and then the rest of the brow go with the natural hair growth. This just helps everything look a little bit more natural and not so like, Alright you guys, so that is it for this video. I hope you enjoyed and I hope you learned something new or maybe something to help you with your brow routine. And the biggest suggestion that I have is practice makes perfect. So just keep on practicing until you like your brows. So if you guys did like this video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys next time. Bye guys. Because I work so hard. So when I set my... Okay, so that is for this video. So I hope, then of course I get the fattest blemish of life right underneath my brow where I never get blemishes the day before I'm about to film a brow routine. Really, blemish? Really? No one invited you. No one.